Okay, so this is just another slightly silly game that I played not too long ago. This comes out of the tournament practice room, so probably don't take it too seriously. We're up against some kind of weird three-color red, white, black painter deck. We won game one pretty easily. Game two, we lost to them having ley lines plus a, what do you call it, Ethersworn canonist. And so we're now on to game three. I'm mostly putting this up because I thought it was a pretty fun little line that I managed to win through. So, and I guess I also kind of don't particularly like ley lines, so it was kind of made me even happier. So not much we can do turn one. We have a handful of mana. We're just hoping to find a tutor or a cantrip in our next draw. To just fill in a little bit here, post board we brought in 2 Chains of Vapor, 2 Echoing Truths, and a Hercule's Recall. So we have outs. We're not dead in the water here. We also brought in an Empty the Warrens. So we have multiple lines for victory here. And fortunately, we get pretty lucky. We hit a ponder, and so we're now just going to ponder. And we find an Infernal Shooter. So from here, we have to work out the best line for a kill. So we can easily go for, what is that, 20 goblins right here. Or we can go for an Ad Nauseam with some mana floating, and hopefully find a bounce spell for the ley line before we actually go for the Tendrils. Both of those lines will play around Surgical. Neither of them plays around Mindbreak Trap. We don't really have any particularly simple way to do so at the moment, so we've just got to pretend that's not a possibility. We have a third riskier line, which doesn't play around Mindbreak Trap, doesn't play around Surgical either. But if we can get enough mana, we might be able to tutor for a tutor with a little bit of blue floating and bounce the Leyline of Sanctity before we grab the Tendrils. So we're going to try to do that. And so to see if we can do that, we need to be able to hit threshold. Otherwise, we're just not going to have enough mana. And we can't afford to get bottlenecked on mana if we're going to go that route. So we're going to fire off this Cabal Ritual, because we need that one to hit threshold. And then what we need to do for the second one is we're going to need the pedal and the LED in the bin. So we're going to cast the Infernal Tutor, and then cast the Cabal Ritual in response, and crack the LED and the petal. And that will leave us with 5 black, 3 red, 1 blue floating once this tutor resolves, once the tutor and the ritual resolve. And that will actually now, that gives us 9 mana, so we can go down to 7 mana to grab a second tutor. And go down to 7 mana before we grab the Past in Flames. We need to be very careful here, just to make sure that we hold that blue. I'm going to use up all our red to grab that Past in Flames. And now we actually have a spare tutor to go find something to bounce the ley line with. So we'll just flash back Cabal Ritual to begin with, just so we can maximize our mana. And the second one. And Dark Ritual. Infernal Tutor number 1 to grab ourselves that Chain of Vapor here. Remember, we also have Echoing Truth if they had multiple ley lines, so we had an out if they had multiple ley lines as well. So we grab Chain, bounce the ley line, and still plenty of mana left to go grab the Tendrils. And that's game.